Holy shit, things just got intense. Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this is my review for Agent Carter, Season 1, Episode 6, A Sin to Err, and oh my god, guys, this was such a good episode. By far best episode of the season. Just so intense here. So much intense stuff, and I loved every minute of it. Literally everything bad that could have happened to Peggy just happened, and holy shit, these last two episodes are gonna be crazy, but let's just get into it because it was insane. So, we start off with a flashback to Dottie in Russia 1944. Dottie removes the hoods from four men who are tied up, and General Fedor comes in and congratulates them on having been selected to join Leviathan. He invites any of them to speak if they want to decline in the opportunity to join basically, one man says that his family needs him, and Fyodor has Dottie kill him with a knife and says that his family will be joining him shortly, and he asks one of the other men, Evgen, I can't pronounce his name, Ivchenko, if he wants to decline. So we then meet Ivchenko in the present, and we see that he is telling Roger, Jack, and Peggy what happened to him, and explains that Leviathan has been active since World War One, which is really interesting. Stalin has been developing weapons, so Russia, that's the president at the time, Joseph Stalin, he has been developing weapons so Russia can be the most powerful country in the world, and Peggy realized that the girl they found was a human weapon, trained to be an assassin. So Evchenko admits that women are often overlooked and taken for granted. What Peggy doesn't know is that that's actually Dottie, but basically he doesn't know the specifics, and when Peggy realizes, basically Peggy tries to question him further, Roger escorts her out and tells her to let him finish the investigation, and Peggy's just like drilling him. That was awesome. Peggy warns that one of the Russian women may have killed Krasemsky because he was shot with a low-caliber Russian gun, and she suggests that Howard was manipulated by a woman and asks Roger if he thinks the industrialist is involved with Leviathan, and Roger considers and then tells her to run down the lead, stunning her into silence. So at the automat, we see Angie. She is rehearsing dialogue for a play she was auditioning for, and apparently didn't get the audition. Apparently was like the worst audition they've ever seen. One of the customers, Esther, is congratulating her. Angie then tells Peggy her new key. Again, gives Peggy her new key because she lost the original. And she admits that an actress career may not be for her because basically, she auditioned and they said it might have been the worst audition they've ever seen. So Peggy says that they'll talk about it more that night, and Jarvis comes in, sits at the booth next to Peggy, and Angie gives them their privacy. Peggy says they're still working toward a common goal, and Jarvis tells her that Roger spoke with him, and the butler admits that Howard visited Fano and began construction of his vault shortly after the massacre, and Jarvis has been unable to reach Howard, and Peggy asks for a list for all the women Howard has been with for the last 6 months. So Dottie goes to the dentist. This scene was just, Dottie goes to the dentist's office across from the disguised SSR headquarters. Once she confirms that the dentist is alone and still taking applicants, Dottie closes, locks the door, and Sousa goes to prison. Now, Sousa, I was very interested in what was going to happen with Sousa, because as we know, he knows the secret with Peggy. He knows that Peggy was working as a double agent. He knows this whole thing here. So Sousa, I was very interested in seeing what was going to happen with him here. He meets with Sheldon McPhee, who is one of Brandis' men, and he offers to get his sentence knocked down to 3 months if he can identify the woman who tied him up. Of course, the woman who did that was Peggy. Now, he knows who did it, but he needs confirmation. I like that, that Sousa's not making, allegations right away. He needs to make sure that Peggy is the woman that did this. So, Sheldon agrees and confirms from a photo that the woman is Peggy, and when Sheldon wonders who she is, Sousa merely says that she's not who he thought she was, and, just you can see the look on Sousa's face, just a look of betrayal. Sousa loved Peggy. I genuinely feel like Sousa had feelings for Peggy. He did, and he trusted Peggy. He cared about her. He defended her. Her and Jack, he and Jack both defended her. Especially him. He defended Peggy. And now that he knows this, he just feels like he was totally played, and you feel so bad for him just because of what happened to him. You feel so bad for Sousa. I felt so bad for him this episode. So Peggy and Jarvis go to a jeweler's, and the clerk shows them the bracelet that Howard gives to every woman he dates. The clerk hands them the list, and Peggy crosses off those that are publicly established. And the dentist tells Dottie that he's looking for someone who's willing to go the extra mile, starts flirting with her, puts a hand on her leg, and Dottie is just a badass here. Grabs him, shoves him down to the dentist chair, gags him, starts drilling, and just such a badass. But, I mean, what I love about Dottie is that we already know who she is, and that's one of the things that Agent Carter does so well that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. didn't. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. took forever to get character development, but Agent Carter, like, we know who Dottie is, we know how powerful she is, we know why she's so tough, and just, oh my gosh, she's such a badass, and I love her character. I mean, seriously, she's killing it on 2 shows right now. She's killing it as, you know, in Jane the Virgin, and in this. I mean, Jane the Virgin, she's awesome as well, but even awesomer in this. Like, it's so awesome to see this woman. This actress is just, I don't know her name, but she is just killing it. And she is awesome. So Jarvis drives Peggy to check the remaining women on the list. The butler warns that he is usually the one who has sent them on their way when Howard is done with them, and Peggy explains that she needs to see their wrists because the girl in Russia had scars on her wrists from when she was handcuffed to the bed. Now, of course, that woman was Dottie, but she doesn't know that yet. So Edwin, you know, Jarvis reluctantly goes with her, and they talk to woman after woman after woman. Most of them slap and kick Jarvis. Such a funny scene. I love that we had so much comedy in here, because you knew that shit was going to hit the fan. Next on the list is this girl, Iva Emke, a dancer he met at a charity event. So Roger has Ivchenko go over the schemata, but Ivchenko reminds the SSR head that he's a psychiatrist, not an engineer. They take a break, and Roger pours out drinks, and Ivchenko realizes that Roger's having trouble at home. He doesn't know what it is, but he's reading the signs, and Ivchenko eventually realizes that Roger's actually having problems with his wife, which I found very interesting, actually. I like that we got some character development for Roger in this episode, because I mean, we've wanted to see why, you know, why he's such a cold-hearted guy and everything, and we realize why in this episode, because he has a lot going on in his personal life, which I like finding out about. So basically, Dottie prepares a sniper rifle and draws a bead on Roger's office. Such an intense scene here. Literally, this is like one of those scenes where my heart's just pounding. I did not know what was going to happen here. Roger's taking a drink. Ivchenko opens the windows to admire the view. He opens the window, and Dottie prepares to kill him. However, she sees him making hand motions and then writes down the message. Ivchenko needs more time to get the items and tells Dottie to kill Peggy. Literally, he's like, kill Peggy, because he knows Peggy's true secret. And just, holy shit, this was such an intense scene. So, the question is Dottie going to kill Peggy? So Jarvis and Peggy go to Ida's apartment, but she doesn't answer the door for whatever reason. She's not there. Peggy goes in and finds mail lying on the floor in empty drawers. Now, Ida, I believe, is Dottie's real name. I believe that's true. A boy approaches Jarvis in the hall, and such a funny scene. Just what Jarvis does in this scene is so funny. The butler's claiming he's an exterminator, and he's like, go away, I want nothing to do with you. Like, it's so funny the way he's just, like, shutting him out. Such a funny scene. Peggy's checking the bed, finds handcuffs, scars on the bedpost. She goes out and tells Jarvis that Ida is the woman they're looking for, and tells Jarvis to check with the owners and meet her back in the automat. And at SSR, Roger tells Ivchenko that his wife Loretta cheated on him while he was overseas, and that was really sad to see. It really makes us care more for Roger. So meanwhile, Yawk gives Jack a report and comments that Ivchenko has been with Roger for a long time. He points out that it's different than how Roger usually handles things, but Jack tells him not to worry about it. Ivchenko says that he lost his wife and children during the war and tells Roger that it's not too late to save his family. He advises him to focus on the good times and slowly hypnotizes him. However, Daniel, Sousa comes in and interrupts him, saying that he has something that can't wait, and the second he said that, I'm like, shit is about to go down. He's about to tell them the evidence he has with Peggy, and I knew this was not going to end well. So at the automat, Peggy meets Jarvis. He says that Ida always paid on time, and Peggy admits that she hasn't turned anything up yet. She notices that everyone is leaving the automat, realizes that the SSR are evacuating the place to minimize civilian casualties. Peggy spots the SSR agent in the room, tells Jarvis to block the front door. I love it that in this song they're playing like the happiest music ever. It's actually really interesting the way they did that. She then attacks the agents while Jarvis knocks out the men. Just such an awesome action scene here at the door. Holds it shut until she can jam it with the door. They run up and finds Jack waiting for her. But there's Jack waiting for him with his gun drawn. And he explains they've tied her to Brandis and warns her that she has no choice but to surrender. And, I mean, you feel bad for Jack as well. He was just trusting Peggy. Like, literally, Peggy just gained his trust. And now, broken completely, and he feels like an idiot. So, Peggy apologizes, then knocks him out, which I was just like, that was huge that she did that. She tells Jarvis that she needs to get to Steve's blood from the Griffith, and they'll meet later. And as Peggy runs from the street, there's Sousa. He steps out, gun drawn, orders her to surrender, and she insists that there's more going on than he understands, and says that Sousa won't shoot him. And Peggy walks past him, and I love it. He's like, just don't run. If you run, I'll know it's true. And it's so sad. Again, your heart is like breaking for this guy, and it's just like, don't run. I'll know it's true. She apologizes. She keeps going, and just this look on his face of just despair. It's so sad to see. You feel so bad for Sousa. I felt so bad for him. So at SSR, Roger mobilizes his agents to hunt down Peggy. The rest of this episode is like a fucking action movie. It's awesome to see. While Ajenko is looking on, Roger ushers Ajenko to a conference room and says that he has to take care of some business. Leaves York to make sure the psychiatrist doesn't leave the room because, he can't have him because he actually wants his help. He needs to figure out what's going on with his wife and him. So once Jack recovers, Daniel points out that he couldn't outrun Peggy, that neither one of them suspected Peggy, and head to the Griffith. And if Janko begins analyzing York and offers his assistance, helping the agent prove his worth, he begins hypnotizing York using his ring, and Peggy goes to her room at the Griffith, and in the lobby, Jack and Sousa confront Miriam and find out Peggy's room, and they go upstairs despite her objections, and just this whole scene was just crazy. You had no idea what was going to happen here. You don't know what's going to happen. It's crazy here. So in her room, Peggy is removing the spear from the hiding place because, if they found the spear, she'd be dead meat. So she hears Miriam outside. She follows the agents up. They burst in seconds later, find no sign of Peggy. They search the place. They're unaware that Peggy is outside on the ledge, several stories above the street. And when that happened, I'm just like, this is getting insane. She inches her way to the next window, almost falls when some of the stone breaks away. Angie's opening her window, wonders what Peggy's doing there. And, because Angie, of course, is she's the only one that has no idea what's going on. Like, Angie literally has no idea what's going on. And you feel bad for Angie, because Angie is the one most out of the dark. Like, first of all, Peggy told her that she was that she works for, like, a telephone line. She didn't even, tell her the truth. So, you feel the most bad for her, definitely. Out of everyone, I do feel the most bad for Angie out of everyone. I mean, Angie she's been so kind to Peggy and everything. You feel so bad for her because she's been honest with Peggy and she hasn't been honest with her. You can't help but feel bad for her. So, basically, before Peggy can answer, the SSR agents are knocking on the door. Angie lets them in. She has no clue what's going on at this point. She's completely out of the dark. So it's a really funny scene. They question her, but that's one of the things I love about Agent Carter. While this could be extremely intense and just action, Agent Carter finds a way to throw some humor in there, which I love, because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. does not have that. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has some of that, but Agent Carter definitely has that. Like, this was as intense as Captain America the Winter Soldier. It really was that intense. It really was, and I love that. So the waitress claims that she saw Peggy on her way out and doesn't know where she was going. When she sees Jack in the window, she makes this lie that it's all about Peggy's dying grandmother, and she's crying hysterically to distract them, and she's just like, I wanted to be the greatest actress, I just want to have a good career in the movies. Like, her acting is just, oh my god, such a funny scene. I was laughing. That was such a funny scene. Might be the funniest scene in Agent Carter so far. So funny. Absolutely love that. So, that was really funny. Jack comes over, and Angie's sobbing into his shoulder. And Sousa and Jack finally leave. They have their team escort Miriam to her office and continue their search for Peggy, and Angie lets Peggy in through the window and tells her friend that she knew she didn't work at the phone company. Now she knows what's going on there. So Ivchenko hypnotizes Yawk into showing him where Howard's weaponry is locked up, because of course Ivchenko is actually working for Howard, and then commands Yawk to take him there. Yawk refuses, explaining that they're in lockdown. Roger's the only one allowed in the lab. Ivchenko has Yawk show him the exits, then commands him to go to his favorite bar, drink a bourbon, then walk out into traffic, and Angie calls his brother to have him drop off a car so Peggy can get out of town, because, that's Peggy's main thing now, is how she can get out of there. She has to get out of town now. So they share a hug. Peggy promises to tell her friend what is going on someday, which hopefully she does. But before anything can happen, basically, Peggy heads downstairs. Hang on 1 second, guys. I'm getting someone's calling me on Skype. Basically, Peggy heads downstairs. Dottie finds her, gives her a hug. Peggy finds her, basically. Dottie finds her, gives her a hug, kisses her on the lips, and Peggy realizes that Dottie is actually wearing her drugged lipstick, which is huge, because the second that happened, I'm like, okay, what is Dottie gonna do here? Because, of course, Evchenko told Dottie to kill Peggy. So I did not know. I knew Peggy wasn't gonna die, obviously, because we're in the third to last episode, but I didn't know what was gonna happen to Dottie, and Peggy's not dumb, obviously. So Peggy can definitely already tell that Dottie is the same person as Ida. In my opinion, I think she's the same person. So she sees the bruises on Dottie's wrist before she passes out, and it's such a well-done scene because the whole scene is just in Peggy's perspective. Like, you see the thing on Dottie's wrist, and then it just fades to black, and it's so well done the way they do that. I love the way that it was in Peggy's perspective. Such a well-done scene. So Dottie takes out her knife. You have no idea what she's about to do. I thought she was gonna, kidnap Peggy. I did. I thought that was gonna be a cliffhanger. I thought she was gonna kidnap Peggy. But then Jack and Sousa arrive, and they order her to play back, and Dottie plays innocent as Sousa confirms that Peggy's unconscious, and Jack handcuffs her, and the agents lead her out to their car, and Peggy recovers consciousness. So she looks back and sees Dottie among the girls watching her, and, she basically, I think, knows now what's going on with Dottie. And at SSR, Peggy tells Roger that she can't explain everything. He ignores her. He doesn't care what she has to say. He doesn't care. They are getting it out of her. They already know what's happening. But, of course, they don't know everything. They don't know everything that's going on. And Jack and Sousa take her away. So Angie's knocking on Dottie's door, saying that Miriam wants everyone downstairs. She gets no answer, discovers the door's unlocked. Angie goes inside. Dottie's gone. It's taken everything with her. So where the hell Dottie go? I don't know. But she definitely is going after Peggy. I know that for a fact. She's not going to let Peggy get away. So in the interrogation room, Jack handcuffs Peggy to the table, and Sousa shows her the photo from the club. They have the spear with the blood. Roger tells them not to go easy on Peggy as he leaves, and that is how the episode ends. And holy shit, guys, this episode was absolutely huge. First of all, the biggest thing here is that Jack and Sousa do not actually know what's going on with Peggy. They think that she's betraying them and that, they think other stuff. What they don't realize is that she's working for Howard Stark. They think she's working with Jarvis and Howard Stark. What she's really doing is showing how Howard Stark is innocent and helping him with everything. That's what she's really doing. And she needs to tell him the honest truth of why she's doing this. Why she's working with Captain America and everything, and why this is happening. Because, of course, Howard Stark is an old friend of hers. She needs to just tell them that, but it's too late for that because they think they know what's going on. And definitely it's not going to end well with Peggy. Definitely, as far as Dottie goes, Dottie is not going to let Peggy get away. I know that for a fact. Dottie is not letting her get away. Dottie is going to do whatever she can to go after Peggy. I know that. I don't know where Dottie went. I definitely feel like Dottie and Ida, that woman, they are connected, definitely. I don't know how they're connected, but I definitely know for a fact that those two are definitely connected. How they're connected, I don't know, but we're definitely going to have to see what happens there. As far as Ivchenko goes, I don't know if Ivchenko took Dottie or something. I think Ivchenko is going to try to convince Dottie why she needs to kill Peggy. Does Peggy know Dottie's secret? I don't know. I think that she does know because, I mean, the the scars on her wrist should have told her, yeah, she could be Ida. Definitely, that should tell her that. I don't know what's going on with Jarvis now, because they don't really show Jarvis after this, so I don't know what's going on with Jarvis. Jarvis, I definitely feel, is in danger, because they're going after Jarvis without a doubt now. Definitely, they're going to go after Jarvis, because I don't think they had any indication that Jarvis was working with Peggy or any of that, but now that they know that Jarvis is working with Peggy, it's definitely going to get interesting now. But the only problem, my only downside with this episode is we have 2 episodes left after this, which is really disappointing. Because while I really like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and while I can't wait for that to come back, and while it had a badass mid-season finale, Agent Carter is kicking Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s ass right now. I'm sorry, it is. It is kicking the ass of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It is so much better than that. Agent Carter is just such a better show. It is. I mean, the fact that they just reveal all this stuff and we're on episode 6, and already they know everything. So basically the plot of the show is over. It's literally over. So I don't know what's going to happen now, because the entire plot of the show changes now. So who knows what happens. Definitely Howard Stark, I don't know what's going to happen to him now. He is definitely in danger. The whole thing with, with Peggy working with Jarvis and Howard against, against the SSR, that's over, because they now know her secret. So what's going to happen now? I have no idea what's going to happen now, and I love that, because I don't want to really know what's going to happen now, because I love the intrigue, and I love the suspense that the show is giving us. Just everything about this show is just awesome, and I love that the show is not telling us really what's going to happen next, because I absolutely love that. And it looks like the next episode is going to be absolutely crazy, a lot of interrogation going on, a lot of stuff like that. I can't wait to see what's going to happen. But that's basically for my review, guys. Let me know what you guys saw this episode. Overall, guys, by far best episode of the season. Holy shit, this was a great episode. Just, oh my god. That's it for my review. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Which, guys, my next video, once again, I don't know why this keeps happening when I review Agent Carter, but my next video will be for an epic rant for a movie, because I know I'm not going to like it. I started watching it. I never finished it. I am going to finish it, though, and I already hate it, but my next video will be for an epic rant on a movie I'm watching, so I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.